everyone, back again with another gun. New gun day. Well, it's not brand new, but new to me. I've never picked one of these up before. I've looked at Sam Vipers before. I've seen them in the shops. I've handled them. I'm just not sold on the Armor Works / WE infrastructure. They use a really weird, like, short cut inner barrels and hops, and I've never been a fan of them. But I have been doing really well with armies lately, with all the staccatos and the Nighthawks that we've bought. They've all been really, really well performing. So I picked up one of these. It's a Jag Precision Taran Tactical International licensed JW4 Sam Viper gas blowout pistol in bronze, or like the rosish gold style colour. But these are made by Army Armament, which is why it's in an Army Armament box, as well as a Taran Tacticals Innovation box. So I decided to pick one of these up. They did two variants of it when I ordered it. I'm going to take a quick look at the manual here. It's probably, it's actually really, really usable. They've got the old JW3s in there. How to work it, how to clean your barrel. A couple of exploded diagrams and a bit of troubleshooting. So they do two variants of this. They do the normal variant and they do the CNC variant. The only difference is this one, which is the CNC variant, comes with a CNC machine slide, and just look at it, it is a really cool looking pistol. We also get the magazine with the bronze base on there as well, which sticks out just ever so slightly. Nothing else in the box here, just a couple of silica gel packs to keep the moisture out during shipping. The code for this one is R615-1, and like I say, you can get it with a normal cast slide, which are slightly cheaper. We don't have any irons on these pistols, which is usually the case, but we do have a mount there for an RMR or a red dot, whatever you want to put on there. And you can really tell, I really do like this machine look, which I think they do have that on the Armor Works models, but the Armor Works models don't have like a through channel brake like this, like it's a cast brake. It might even be a cast slide, to be honest, on the Armor Works, but this is all like blocked off. You can't actually see the barrel in there, and the barrel does run all the way to the end. Very smooth slide on this one. Now we do have, and I do like that Army do this, they ship the barrels that have the plastic on them, so it, you know, if you're manipulating the gun, maybe they test it in the factory, you're not going to scratch all your barrels up. I have seen a couple of the Armor Works ones that have destroyed the outer barrels. It'll be interesting to see once we've got a ton of rounds on this if this one copes a little bit better. The plus side to the Army ones, they're not like completely 100% Marui compatible to my knowledge, but they are more Marui compatible, high kappa compatible than the Armor Works models. So they run on Army Armament mags, which is an extended mag. We're going to whack some green gas in here, just because it's what I have spare. So we can charge this magazine up when we want to test it. We can also dry fire it before we load it. We can actually use that to purge the mag here. So we can load it up. The gun is empty. Really nice and snappy on the slide. What you want it to do, locks back on empty. Does feel like this one has a bit of a dicky trigger, like the Perfect 11 I had. Like sometimes it might be wearing in a bit, but when I first had it out the box, like you'd have to pull the trigger like 3 or 4 times for the hammer to drop. Now it seems like it's getting a bit better. It does have a better break if I push the top of the trigger compared to the bottom. And I think what it is, like on the Perfect 11, I think they wind these screws in a little bit too far and then they thread lock them in, so they're hard to adjust. But not bad at all. Better than it was out the box when I first tested it, because it really did not want to fire. So just top the mag up with gas here. And we can load this in. We can load these usually with a normal speed loader. Not sure what round count these mags are, but it does hold a lot. I will take one out there, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 31 in there, so it's going to be a 30 round mag. There we go. What we can also test, if I can find one, I'm sure I've got a bunch of them in here, is the Army Armour mags from all the staccatos. I think I've put them away in a case, so but they all will work. But what we can try are some Marui mags. So I've got the one with the big base plate and the one with the smaller base plate on. These are ever so slightly longer. We might run into an issue with the magwell, but we'll see that in just a moment. So I've got 0.25 gram BBs loaded up in the mag. We can rack the slide, load one in there. Chrono set to 0.25 gram. Let's see what it chronos at. We are bang on 1 joule. 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, 1 joule, and you know I'm not making it up. 1 joule pretty much every shot. There's a bit of fluctuation, so that was 1.024, 1.089, 1.043, 1.065, 1.059, 1.032. So it's not moving off a joule, so it's just the lower two decimal, is what's changing. So anything from 0.2 to 0, was it 8 or something like that? So bang on a joule pretty much every shot. Really consistent for a pistol, if I'm honest. Let's get rid of the rest of the mag. Fired the mag. It is starting to take a bit of the plastic off the barrel, so I'll have to remove that. We might do that now. So let's quickly strip this down. So yeah, they do 2 price points for this. I bought the more expensive one. Now, when I bought it, it's with one of our distributors. So I didn't necessarily pay retail for it. I paid a trade price for it. But the difference was about 30 or 40 pounds trade price, I think. I might have got that a little bit wrong. But like I say, cheaper one and a more expensive one. So you've obviously got steel screws. We've got a steel hammer. So Army Armament, worked through their mistakes with the John Wick 3s. The John Wick 3s had brittle hammers because they were just cast. They're now shipping them with steel hammers and a few other steel components. Have we got a steel valve knocker in there? I believe so. Yeah, I think it just pulled it out there. So we are getting steel parts. The trigger is obviously cast. We have a steel button on the mag release, but the mag release itself is aluminium. The slide release is just, it looks cast, but it's one of these ones where we've had this before where it's not magnetic, but then the pin is magnetic. So there must be something in the center of these pins that's steel. So let's have a look at this here now. So we've got a couple of marks there from where I fired it, but it's no big deal. Let's see if we can strip this down. So the reason I went for the Army one is I believe they make better high cappers compared to Armour Works. But it's also a case of I've got a ton of Army pistols now with the staccatos and such that they all run off the same mags. It just made perfect sense to get the same one. And I'm not a fan of how Armour Works do their barrels and hot rubbers. They're off spec to everything else. So we should be able to drop this out here. If I can just pull it to the side. There we go. Really long recoil guide rod and spring there. With that off, we should be able to pull the hop unit and the outer barrel out. And not a lot of companies do this. So they wrap them in this plastic. So during, obviously, maybe factory testing and shipping and stuff, they're not going to get scratched if people are racking them. Especially if, they go through the distributors, they go to the retailers. The retailers have them in the display cabinets. People want to pick them up and shoot them. It just means they're not going to get all scratched up. So this is held in like the other ones where it's got a threaded collar. So this would sit on the outer barrel and then the threaded collar goes in. But we do actually have an open break there. Unlike the Armour Works one, which is just like cast here. It's just, you can't do anything with it. We still do have a thread on the front there. So if you want to put tracers or anything like that on there, this is all going to be cast or aluminium. And yeah, this is indeed a CNC machine slide. You can see all the tool marks. So steel, screws, everything else is aluminium. We do have a hammer protector on, which not a lot of companies do straight out the box, which is nice. And it's just a really nice colour. I love this brushed aluminium finish that they've done there. I'm not even sure how they've coated it and done this finish, but I really do like it. Hop system, very much like a Marui. It was set to halfway. It's got a really long inner barrel in there. What I would probably do, which is what I might do, is just trim that down, or just fit an aftermarket barrel where it sits in here and it's not sticking through the compensator. So you'll see how it sticks to the end here. Great if you want to get a little bit more velocity out of it, but we really don't need it in a pistol. So we can shove this back through. We can take our spring guide, so we want the flat section of the rear of the spring guide pointing towards the barrel, and then we need to orientate this the right way so we don't mess it up here. So we're going to grab that, I'm going to slide it into place if we can. Probably going to mess this up here. It was a bit tight getting it out. So we'll just compress this here because it has to go in a certain way. Come on. It's fighting me a little bit. There we go. Line that up there. Let that come forward. Situate into the slide like that. Flat section towards the barrel. Flip that round. Back on there. Pull it to the rear. Pop our slide release back in. We'll do a quick function check. Really nice. Really do like the look of this pistol. It's really cool. So can we use Marui mags in it though? We might get stuck on the, yeah, so we do get stuck on the flared mag well here with both mags. Now we can circumnavigate this by basically removing the base plates. So we could fit different base plates to the mags. So they will go in. It will work. Let's quickly chrono that. Put a couple of rounds in and see what that chrono's at. It should be about the same. It might be a little bit lower actually. So here we go. Oh, actually a bit higher. 1.2 joules on a Marui mag. 1.186. 1.147, 1.115, 1.109, and 1.063. So it will work on Marui mags, just have to be careful because they will come out a little bit higher compared to normal. Goes in fine, locks in fine. Probably doesn't, the normal mag is a lot slicker, so it will come out under its own weight. This one, it's probably just a little bit wider with the coating that's on the magazines. But you know, I think you could very much easily get away with putting this base plate on here and having a chrome mag. Might do that because I really do like the look of the chrome with the bronze. But if you've got Marui mags and you take your base plates off, they will indeed work. So this one I'm not too sure about because these are ever so slightly shorter. Yeah, that one will go in as well, and that one actually falls out under its own weight. That will work absolutely fine. Easy peasy. So, yeah, I decided to add it to the collection. Like I say, I've got a bunch of the staccatos and the Nighthawks and stuff like that. I've been on a bit of a binge with high cap as of late, but I wanted a Sam Viper. I might get the other one as well because they did have the black one in, which I think is just called the Pit Viper. They do that with a CNC slide too. And I just think when obviously my new showroom and sort of studios up and running, these are going to look great on display on the wall. So I probably will get the black one as well to complete the set. But very good looker, runs like a Marui does. You know, the parts are, there's a lot of parts that are compatible and some parts that are not. The selectors actually feel good. That was one thing that used to get really bad on the JW3s. The rear safeties, not the selectors, the safeties. You'd lift one up and the other one would like wobble all over the place. It seems like they've cleaned up their QC there, so it's very nice. It's very comfortable. Extended mag release works really, really well. You can slap your red dot straight on there. You haven't got to go. You will have to get screws, of course, but you haven't got to go buy an adapter. It comes with it in the box. And yeah, I think it's just such a good looking pistol. So there it is, the Army Armament Jag Precision Taran Tactical JW4 Sandviper. If you think I should get the Pit Viper as well, I'm sure it's called the Pit Viper. Let me know in the comments below. But just look how gorgeous that pistol is. I see a lot of people using these and I can see why. The other thing you can tell with the armies as well, before I go, is they always have stippled frames, and they always used to claim that they were hand stippled frames, and maybe they do that. Maybe they use like a machine, like a fitment that's got more dots on it to do it a bit quicker, but the ArmorWorks ones are just molded. They don't have this grippy texture, and the grippy texture is very much appreciated, especially with a high capper. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. We've got plenty more coming up. Plenty of huge developments with the business as well, which we'll get to when those things are ready. We'll be getting to the range test soon. Don't worry about it. Things take time. It will be worth the wait, I promise. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, you can go to the description and you'll find a link to the Discord, the Jaeger Discord. Get involved with the Jaeger community. It's full of really, really nice people that are generally 99% of the time very civil. It's a nice place to be. And as always, from me and Bench, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.